Hey there everyone, welcome back to the guide. Next up in the series, we're going to be taking a look at what's required to get into the bottom of the well. Now, the bottom of the well is a mini dungeon that takes place right before the Shadow Temple. It's kind of like how the Ice Cavern took place before the Water Temple. Pretty much the same thing. There's going to be an item in there that we really need to have in order to get through the Shadow Temple, at least comfortably. I think technically you could finish Shadow without the item in the bottom of the well, but it would not be fun. But in any case here, I'm going to have to take a little bit of a detour. Unfortunately, past me, believe it or not, has yet to collect magic in our playthrough of Ocarina of Time. And considering how early you can get magic, you may already have magic, you may already know how to do this, so if that's the case, you can probably go ahead and skip this part of the video. I'll go ahead and put a little timestamp on screen letting you know where this part of the video sort of ends. But yeah, pretty funny. I think Darunia and Navi both give you hints on where to go for this Great Fairy. I think at any point, if I were to listen to what Navi had to say, she would be telling me that I need to go get magic, essentially. Go to the top of Death Mountain and talk to the fairy there. And that's been that way since, I think, Dodongo's Cavern. So yeah, definitely getting things out of order here. But hey, it's Ocarina of Time. There's a little bit of freedom there. It's kind of one of the ways this game is sort of magical, as you can kind of carve your own path. But anyway, here we are on top of Death Mountain now, and there's this wall over here that normally as a child you would break open with bombs as soon as, or as early as the end of Dodongo's Cavern. But of course you can use the hammer to break that open, mostly just because I didn't have bombs equipped. But I'll come in here, and you know what to do. We'll go ahead and play Zelda's Lullaby. And with that, we now have one of the earliest unlocks in the game. There it is, magic. That green bar. I didn't realize just how wrong the user interface felt without that until just now. But anyway, having done that, we will be able to kind of get going with this video. Luckily, we don't have too far to go. We're going to be going to Kakariko Village next. We've got to learn a song for this one. This section right here, of course, is where the big lava rocks will fall onto when you're playing as Child Link. I'm actually not sure if they're not there now because we finished the Fire Temple, or if they're just not ever there as Adult Link. That's something I'd have to look into. Let's see Kakariko Village off there to the left. I always thought that was really cool. If you kind of hug that edge there, you can see the town down there. Caught a glimpse of the entrance to Dodongo's Cavern over there. It's actually really cool. You can enter that dungeon as Adult Link. So, the Deku Tree and Lord Jabu Jabu, you can't go into their dungeons as Adult Link, but for whatever reason, Dodongo's Cavern, you can walk right on in there as Adult, and it's pretty much the exact same thing. Not a whole lot changes in there, even with 7 years going by. In any case, though, here we are in Kakariko Village. What we're going to be doing here in this portion of the guide is we're going to be entering the windmill here. This is one of my favorite parts of the game because, it's sort of a paradox. Basically, what we're going to do in here is we're going to approach the windmill guy. I have no idea what else to call this person, but I mean, look at him. He's definitely the windmill guy, if you ask me. And he's real upset when you first talk to him as Adult Link. And if you pull out your ocarina in front of him, he's going to tell you that a kid came into the windmill 7 years ago and played this song. And he's going to teach you the song. This is the Song of Storms. Song of Storms doesn't have a whole lot of uses in the game. Of course, this is very important for getting into the bottom of the well, but other than that, there are a few spots where you can play the Song of Storms, and like it'll create a hole in the ground, and you'll go inside, and there's some stuff in there. It'll spawn fairies a couple of times, I think, in very, very specific places. Oh, this is funny. I'm trying to play a song I don't have. That's where I realize that I do not have the Prelude of Light. So we're going to be making the long walk back to the Temple of Time. But yes, going back to the Song of Storms, not used in very many places. If you want to 100% the game, I believe it's used for a couple of heart container pieces, and I know of one ridiculously well-hidden gold Skulltula that does require it. So we'll definitely take a look at those in their respective guides. In the meantime, past me is zooming at 400% speed. Those redeads had absolutely no idea what the heck that even was. And here we are entering the Temple of Time for the first time as adult. Well, since the first time I walked out. So this is another spot in the guide that I'm experiencing it for the first time, but you've probably done this long ago. You can get this cutscene as early as right after the Forest Temple, I believe. Anytime you return to the Temple of Time, you'll see Sheik here, and she will teach you the Prelude of Light, which allows you to warp back to the Temple of Time anytime you want. As a kid, I was always really excited to get this cutscene, to get this song, because at this point in the game, you can now freely go back and forth between Child and Adult Link. Not only that, but you also have the Temple of Time warp song, which as Child Link, you know, it's right in the middle of the market. Lots of people to talk to and games to play, lots of little quests to check out. Cool stuff. So we'll go ahead and transform right back to Child Link, and we're going to be heading right back to where we came from in Kakariko Village. Alrighty, and having switched back to the little man again, we're just going to go ahead and do a quick little jump cut here. Skip that walk back to Kak. And it's here that we're going to sort of complete the paradox that I was talking about. We're going to come in here and talk to the windmill guy in the past, and we're going to play the song here. We're going to teach him the song in the past so he can teach us it in the future. Where does it all begin, man? This is the stuff that keeps me up at night. That is an example of the bootstrap paradox, I believe. It's also got a pretty sweet cutscene. So there you go. As you can see, the windmill has gone completely haywire and has drained the well, giving us access to the mini dungeon called the Bottom of the Well. This, of course, being one of the spooky dungeons of Ocarina of Time, so I hope you're ready for that. And in any case, that's how you get into the Bottom of the Well. Thank you so much for watching. Coming up next will be the mini dungeon itself. Hope you stay tuned for it, and I'll see you in the next one.